This video is a guide for Level 4 students undertaking poster presentation assessments. When designing a poster, there's a few key points to keep in mind. The most important aspect of your poster is to make sure it contains the correct content. This should be relevant content which is up to date from peer-reviewed journals or other reliable sources. Remember who your target audience is. This is a professional poster aimed at peers or professionals in the area that is being studied. Besides your actual content, you need to think about how your poster is laid out. Your poster should have a clear title with a logical flow. Colours should not be too vibrant or too contrasting, and the poster itself shouldn't be too crowded with text or pictures. You should always use the Harvard referencing style for any assessments at Staffordshire University, and it's a good idea to keep these at the bottom of your poster or towards the bottom right of your poster in smaller text. Keep in mind, when designing the content of your poster, the learning outcomes for the module. Make sure you know your research well. You're going to be asked to discuss this research further, so it's a good idea to understand the research that you put onto your poster. Your student ID always needs to be checked prior to assessment, so make sure you have this on you. Okay, Ruth. So your assessment is going to last 15 minutes and we're going to discuss aspects of your poster presentation in relation to the learning outcomes for the module. Okay?
Yes.
So I can see that on your poster you've written a little bit about the role of the midwife in water immersion for pain relief in the first stage of labour or labour. Can you expand on the role of the midwife in facilitation of physiological birth?
In water?
Yes, in water.
Okay. Well, NICE 2014, as I've said there, say that women should have the opportunity to labour in water. So the midwife should sort of get women to labour in water as much as possible. And like as it says there, the midwife should be with her, support her. Because the water's buoyant and will keep the woman supported, which helps. You know, it's like when you go swimming yourself when you're pregnant, it's nice, it takes some of the weight off the bump, so makes the woman more relaxed.
Okay. Wife, what would be your role?
To tell her what she should wear. You know, that she shouldn't worry about anyone coming in because that can that can stop her from relaxing. Sometimes I've seen midwives, they have to make sure the water's clean. Mm-hmm. So you might have a sieve and get the stuff out the water, all the yucky stuff. And you might want to rubber back the power of touch and all that.
Okay. Okay, I think we'll leave that question there. Thank you, Ruth.
Okay.
Ruth, one of the learning outcomes linked to this module is around anatomy and physiology, and how that links into aspects of care. Now, on your poster you've written a little bit about how water immersion during labour affects normal physiological processes during birth. Mm-hmm. Okay? I'd like you to just expand a little bit more on that.
Well, So like how water helps the physiological, sort of the normal, like the body to do what it should do.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so water reduces the pain.
Okay.
So that physiological mechanism. So you know, it allows the woman to chill, and
Okay, have you looked at some research that says it reduces pain?
yeah, if you look on here somewhere, so Al Wahab and Robinson 2011 said that pain induces physiological stress that results in increased levels of catecholamines, including adrenaline. Well, you don't want that. So the fact that water birth, being in water, reduces that pain is a good thing for helping the physiological mechanism.
Okay, so what effects does adrenaline have on labour?
Okay, so it slows labour down.
Does it?
Yeah. Well, that's what I've read, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, slows labour down. And like Odent and people like that. Have you heard of Odent? Do you know who I mean?
No. What
Well,
do they do?
Odent said that that really we shouldn't be in hospitals delivering, and you know, we shouldn't be bringing women into hospitals to deliver. They should be at home in their own environments, or in as natural environment as possible, and that women should trust their bodies, and we should trust that women's bodies will or can give birth.
Okay, so is that linked to water immersion?
I think what it's just that water immersion helps all that, adds to it all.
Okay, so we'll leave that question there, all right? Thank you.
A Cochrane review in 2009 showed that water birth reduces the length of the first stage of labour, reduces the length of, well, not the length, but the use of epidurals.
Okay.
And so obviously it's important that the midwife has informed the mother of all this, so that the mother can make an informed choice. So that's the role of the midwife. You know, this can be useful to know about shortening the first stage, because if the woman is struggling, you know, if the first stage is going on quite a long time, then the midwife can let the woman know that studies have actually shown that water birth can reduce the length of the first stage, and it can help in such a situation, you know, instead of the use of perhaps drugs such as pethidine. The midwife should encourage the woman to have an upright position in the water birth, or to adopt a good position to help with the facilitation of a physiological normal birth.
Okay.
Upright positions significantly expand the bony dimensions, which help facilitate a normal labour.
So that's the bony dimensions of the pelvis, yeah?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
sorry, yes, of the pelvis, so that allows more room for the baby to come through.
That's brilliant, good.
Okay. What else? Also, being in water will suppress like mum's anxiety, which has also been proved to be really important. So in terms of adrenaline being produced, and it will increase hormones such as oxytocin, which will help facilitate a normal birth as well.
Good, okay. Thank you, Ruth. I will move on then.
The aim is to reduce adrenaline levels, and water birth helps this because it relaxes the lady. Okay, that's one of the aims of water birth. If adrenaline is too high, it can actually inhibit labour, so it can actually inhibit contractions, and it does this because it blocks the oxytocin receptors on the uterus, which means that the oxytocin isn't picked up, and it reduces, as I said before, the contractions. So the aim is to maximise the oxytocin levels, okay, and this was found out by Ockenden in 2001. Well, I think quite a few studies have showed this, but this was one that I particularly looked at, and I know it's a little while ago, but it was a very in-depth study. Also, Charles, and this was a piece of seminal work done in 1976, that this was actually a study that focused on sheep, but he looked at when they actually infused the sheep with adrenaline or ephedrine, and in 38.5% and above of the sheep, there was a reduction in uterine arterial blood flow, which meant that the contractions weren't happening, and actually that labour was more painful because of the ischemic effect of the reduction in blood flow. So it's really important that as a midwife, that we understand and we can explain to the women when they're making an informed choice that it's scientifically been proven that by using water and by being as relaxed as possible, the oxytocin is at a higher level of oxytocin is achieved, which will help with pain levels, but will also help with labour being shorter and all the important physiological mechanisms which exist. But it's our role as a midwife to support and encourage to be to go as well as possible without intervention.
Thank you, Ruth.